new design approach to robotics. And obviously we have to start at the beginning, so there's some interesting principles we're going for that are really driven from biology. If we look at our bodies, connective tissue is what we're looking for. We found some of that in dog rearing.
Driven by biology, I'm a big fan, actually student of Mr. Fuller.
Okay.
Yes. I thought you were going to go the Fuller route, not the biology route.
Yeah.
You guys have all read all of Bucky's books?
Yeah.
Should be qualification for the internship here.
Yeah. Okay, good. Well, I'm glad you know the tensegrity structure.
Yep.
You're a step ahead of many people. And so the tensegrity structure has both in itself interesting properties, and then also there's a lot of evidence that biology will it's all cell level, and also at the physiology level. Do you have any changes in what you learned? No. Oh, so the stuff I've read has mostly been out of Jonathan Clark.
He's big on it.
Yeah.
I hope it works out.
Sure. But the key thing is you see that there's really valuable physical properties from the tensegrity structures. That may be why we use it. For some of the things from a space perspective that matters is that they are very lightweight, deployable structures, and they also, and this is the part that's where I think biology takes advantage of them, is that they do a really interesting job of redistributing loads rather than accumulating loads into joints. Because of the tensile network, the loads distribute through the entire system. Yeah. And so that
Oh, excellent.
oh good. So that distribution of loads means that every component helps absorb stresses.
Part.
Right? And so the initial idea we came up with, we actually were playing around with a little baby toy and realized that it's really good at absorbing impacts. And so we thought, what if we made a planetary lander out of this? And so this is sort of a first prototype down that path. And
it's just going to go in that direction.
And the idea is that you can take this robot.
Is this similar to that?
Yes.
No.
They are similar but different. Yeah. The idea is that you could actually get rid of your airbag, right, and actually what you use once, and you build a robot like this that actually can absorb that final impact, 15 meters a second or something like that, upon landing, and then the very robot is your mobility system. So now you've got multiple systems in one structure, and it also is it changes your risk profile for how you move in the world. If you go over a cliff or explore the Pardon? So right now we're using rotary motors, motors and spools to move this. We're doing so many different innovations already. We wanted to stick with it, but we're actually a big part of what we're doing, as I introduced you to the Berkeley and other university teams, is exploring soft actuation and sensor techniques. Because I think in the long run, that's what we really want to be looking at. But we want to get the principles down first. Do you have another question?
No, I'm just looking at the cabling and what's fixed and what's moving.
Yeah. This one has about half the actuators that we'd want on a full version of it. That's the advantage of the one over there. And Alice will tell you a bit more in a moment. That's UC Berkeley is a big collaborator with us, and that's Alice, who is a professor there. And many of these students are from UC Berkeley. We have a big UC Santa Cruz contingent, UC San Diego. I've had students from Case Western. I even had a postdoc who approached us from Ghent University in Belgium and wanted to come join our lab. And we work very heavily to try to explore the whole space of possible innovation that is required as we start to explore these types of robots, right? Everything from actuation to sensing to design principles. And I think maybe it's a good moment for Alice to tell you a little bit about what they've been doing at Berkeley.
Hi, Alice Ogadino. I don't know that we probably never met, but I know all of your work.
Well, and also I know Daniel Hastings, Sheila Widnall, Wes Harris, Steve Grabowski, and Brian Williams in your department. So
Exactly.
really amazing department at MIT.
Yeah.
I don't get out to the West Coast. Oh, well, so glad you could join us. So part of what our role is to be on the cutting edge of new actuators and prototypes that we can test out the simulation and provide input to what I'm calling the production system. So we've had 4 versions of the tensegrity that we're working on. The first 0 version was made of Legos. The version 1 was made of balsa wood. Version 3 is made of fiberglass and has linear actuators. So we're actually pulling the cable here. The payload is in the center, including our little awesome bear. We're protecting it here. the idea here is those linear actuators are somewhat vulnerable to, impact. And so we wanted to come up with a different design. And this one actually has the intelligence and the motors inside the pods here. We've only got one pod working because this is work in progress, but it does can do a kind of a circular motion. In addition to the motion that we have with the version 3, we're also working, as Vitas says, with different forms of new types of sensors, like liquid.
Yeah, I was gonna ask you about the sensors. What's it capable of sensing?
So this one doesn't sense much. We're just looking for the motion. We've got end cap sensors, IMU sensors, and proximity sensors on the end that are part of what we have tried over there on version 2. And this one we're still working out the mechanics of it. We've got, so we're working on these liquid metal sensors to measure length or strain. And then we're also working on a new concept on an actuator, a DNA actuator.
That's work from Rebecca Kramer at Purdue.
Yeah.
Sensors.
Yeah, what strain you want to measure strain for? I mean, the distance.
Because it's really important. What we're doing is we're stretching and retracting, whatever the elastomer is there or the wire. And so it's really useful to find out exactly what it is, as opposed to just predicting what it is because of the actuation.
And fundamentally, these systems are sort of hybrid soft robotic, traditional robotic systems, right? And so we're really exploring a lot of the technologies coming out of soft robotics, but then giving structure to them, right? They're not just blobs.
Rub wood and screw wood
exactly.
So we're looking at a lot of microfluidic.
Yeah, exactly. That's what we're looking at. And then the payload would go in the center. We might have a propulsion system in the center to have kind of a hopping and punctuated rolling. So the hopping would go longer distance and the precision would come through the walking that you saw here.
And just to wrap up real fast, because I know they're trying to drag you away already. Yeah.
But you can sneak back later.
Yeah. Besides just these sort of rolling we call them super ball and landing inspired robots, one of the key things we've really looked at too is how do you design a spine? This is something that most of robotics is avoided due to its complexity. But anyone who gets into athletics knows that you drive from the core to do your actions, and it's the periphery that comes last. And so if we want to get a robot that had the agility of a mountain goat, we really need to understand the flexibility of the spine so that you can have feet over here, twisted, rotated, and still applying stabilizing forces, so you could explore rugged terrains like you might find on Europa or other icy moons. And so we've done a lot of work both in simulation and proving out the simulation with some prototypes. This idea of this flexible, dynamic spine that passively integrates the forces. It's really fun to hold.
Yeah, cool.
And we're actually just now, I don't have a hardware version of it, I only have software simulations of it, but we're actually starting to build a quadruped robot that is built entirely out of this tensegrity principle, has legs, and we're going to start with...
That's the cue that it's time to move on.
Okay.
So, wait, but so I got to get to this quadruped.
Yeah.
Okay, has a spine.
It has a spine, and we're actually going to start by driving the spine, using the spine as the source of locomotion and having the legs being entirely passive.
Okay.
Right, and then we'll eventually figure out how to add control to the legs.
Yeah, so the tensegrity the actuation would be in the
initially in the spine, because that's how we move. That's how animals move, is primarily from the core.
Yeah, but we don't have too many degrees of freedom. I mean, in terms of actuation.
Yeah. So we're.
I mean, hips and shoulders, right?
Well,
hips
the
and
torso.
shoulders.
I mean, this is all huge amounts of musculature all throughout the torso that gives you all this rotation and integration.
Distributed.
And it just helps. And the key property you see out of these type of plays is that it passively redistributes loads being experienced at the limbs. Our current robots spend a lot of computational power and complexity trying to figure out, how do I stay balanced on the ground? How do I keep my feet from getting completely out of whack and distribute the loads properly? And these, I think, will make that a free passive structural property. And I would love to tell you more, but this guy's going to take you away.
So I'd actually be very glad to read your papers.
Okay.
I'm not a big fan of slide decks, but if you guys have publications on this, I'm more than happy to read them late at night to get inspired, and I'd love to see what you're.
Here's the one on the sensors.
Okay.
But I can send you or someone
Yeah.
appropriate.
But I can't wait till you get actually the sensing part. I think we have down pretty well.
Okay.
I mean, I'll take it. But I'm just saying,
Yeah.
when I, formerly when I do all this fun stuff. I mean, the sensing part, because we've been working on the actuation part.
Yeah.
The soft
Yeah,
actuation
did you
part
see
is,
his
I think,
actuator?
still challenging.
I mean, this is just
Still
really amazing.
challenging.
A DNA actuator that with very short distance, you can put a linear motion and get this rotation and go much further distances than we can so far.
Exactly.
Can we get a photo with Dr. Newman and the students?
Yeah.
Sure, you can
And
have
Alice,
15
how
seconds
about
if you do
the
it right
professor?
now.
Oh, yeah.
Be in it as well.
Get the
Everyone
professors,
wants to be in it.
and the students, exactly. We'll do a group
Okay.
shot.
All right.
I'll hold this.